We live in an era where consumption choices are endless and we could easily spend most of our waking hours in front of a screen. But for me, even though I work in media production, my greatest pleasure is when I'm doing something constructive with my hands, like when I fixed this coffee grinder or when I designed and built this bicycle shed. That got me wondering, what's happening in my brain when I do use my hands, and why is it so satisfying? I decided to do some research and went to Quebec City for the Canadian National Skills Competition. I then went to maker fairs. I went to a Montessori school where they believe the best way to learn is through the five senses. It was the research of Wilder Penfield that helped me really understand. He showed what the body looks like from the brain's point of view. Notice how much brain real estate hands occupy for both sensory input and motor control? The overlap with other brain function explains why complex use of hands can impact learning and our sense of well-being. To tell this story in the form of a documentary, we will start with a visit to the Stone Age Institute. They will show us how sharpened stone flakes made 2.6 million years ago evolved into rough hand axes and cleavers some 800,000 years later. The reason was an increase in brain size that also accompanied the development of language. We will then witness a child at the age of 6 weeks when hands are first discovered. We will look at kids who are lucky enough to be involved in Montessori-type schools, in shop classes, or in after-school maker programs. We will meet gardeners and knitters and members of maker spaces and model railway clubs. We will meet artists, inventors, and skilled tradespeople who use their hands to make a living. Their jobs cannot be easily explained in an instruction manual, as they require constant thinking and analyzing. We will meet a neuroscientist whose research on depression started because of the overwhelming grief she experienced losing her mother. It was the vacuum cleaner that helped her through her recovery. We will learn of the importance of hands for a person who is blind and for a person just learning to use a prosthetic. At the end of the documentary, we will tell the story of a Google initiative called Project Soli, which is using radar to enable new types of touchless interactions, one where the human hand becomes a natural, intuitive interface for our devices. Using our hands in a purposeful and complex manner enriches our lives on many levels, and it is how our bodies have evolved. All the stories in this documentary will be chosen to show how powerfully the hand and brain can work together.